Hi, let's clear up some misconceptions about signal balancing. Whether you use attenuators, cable simulators, notch EQs, or even regular drop EQs, each one has a purpose. So, let's set up the experiment. My forward signal is right around 10 right across the board, with a transmit level of about 40 and receive of about 4.5. First off, let's see what an attenuator does. A 10 dB attenuator is taking us down almost exactly 10 dB, but it also adds that back into your transmit. So it attenuates everything. Cable simulators. Just like the name implies, they act just like a long piece of cable, attenuating off the high frequencies further than the low frequency. This makes it great for compensating for a short drop or a small number of outlets because it leaves your upstream largely intact. You'll see it only raised the transmit level by about 1.5 dB. That's great if you have multiple modems or MoCA outlets in the house. Here in the drop EQ, it actually attenuates off the low frequencies faster than the high, adjusting for, say, a long drop. The problem being, it does impact the reverse. But how much? Well, let's see. This is a 6 dB EQ, and it seems to have added right at 6 dB to our transmit level. You'll need to make sure your loss budget includes that. But what happens if you need that return? So enter the notch EQ. It has loss just like a normal EQ in that it attenuates the lower frequencies, but it protects the reverse. This makes it great for going into an amplifier. While this was a 9 dB EQ, and it did attenuate off about 8 dB of the low range, it only added about 1.5 dB to the transmit level. So in summary, the attenuator attenuates everything evenly, forward and reverse. The cable simulator attenuates the high end, but leaves the low end and the return intact. The notch EQ attacks the low end, but leaves the return intact. And then the drop EQ attenuates the low end, but also impacts the return. Let's get it right the first time and use the right tools for the right job.